Hi everybody, my name's Sandy Price and I am your instructor for NLM 220 Nonprofit Organizations, and I thought that I would do an introductory welcome video and orient you a little bit to what is coming, and also tell you how, give you a few logistics and tell you how you should be occupying your time between today, when the semester is actually officially beginning, and our first class, which is not until next Monday, the 24th. And because we just have a few things that need to happen between now and then. Okay, so let's start by saying that some of us are going to actually be in a classroom environment, and that classroom is going to be in the Mercado, and some of us are going to be on Zoom. Actually, I believe all but 3 of us have opted to be in the Zoom classroom all the time. So those of you who are in the classroom will need to take a laptop with you to the classroom so that you can see what is going on with Zoom. I'm not entirely sure why, but there are 3 different kinds of classrooms, and we've been assigned to one where you need to bring a laptop into the classroom. There will be someone in the classroom who will be there to unlock the classroom and to ensure that everybody has their masks up and stays their 6 feet social distance, and then to let you out and lock the door behind you after the class is over. There are actually 3 of you, I think, out of all 20 some of us, who have not yet let me know whether you prefer to be in a classroom environment or whether you are planning to take this class in Zoom. So I will be bugging you today because I will need that final information. All right, so let me just talk about how this is going to work a little bit. First of all, because we have a big semester-long group project that we will be doing together, everybody has to be in Zoom at least one of the 2 days a week so that teams can work on their projects. As you might imagine, sitting 6 feet or more apart in a classroom is not conducive to having working together and having conversations and looking at things together. And so all of the group work needs to be done in Zoom, which we can break up into team groups, and you can share all of the Zoom tools like whiteboards and uploading documents for each other and having a conversation that everybody can hear, even though you'll be many feet apart. Okay, so it looks like most of the people who want to be in the classroom have opted for Wednesday. So Mondays, everybody will be on Zoom, everybody, and Wednesdays, those of you who want to be in a classroom may be in the classroom. How will this work for all of us is just that I will be coming to you from Zoom. All right, now one last thing that I've been asked to share with you about the situation. It's been brought to the attention of the dean's office that one reason why some students want to be in the classroom is because they do not feel like they're going to have the quiet or the privacy in their living situation to listen well to a Zoom classroom. If that happens to be your case, they have volunteered to find space for students in a quiet location on the 5th floor in UCent building. If you would rather do that than have to go to the Mercado for class. So if that suits you better than showing up in a classroom, please let me know so that I can help make those arrangements for you. Okay, if any of that is confusing or you have questions about what I've said, please feel free to email me and I will be happy to clear it up. Okay, so let's get down to business. As I said, today is school starts and our first class is not till Monday, so why is there anything for you to do between now and then? Well, this is something called a flipped classroom. And what a flipped classroom is a classroom where I give you recordings or reading material, or sometimes I might make a little lecture, and I send it to you before class, and you are expected to have reviewed all the material before you get to class, because in class we're going to use the material to try our hand at some new skill together. And so that's called a flipped classroom, where basically the instructor works with the students during class instead of lecturing to the students. And let me give you a like a simplified explanation of why one might have a flipped classroom. If you think back to, say, your 6th or 7th grade math class, and you had a math teacher who was at a blackboard, a chalkboard, or a whiteboard, and they were basically, up at the board doing formulas and talking about what they were doing while they were doing it. For some people who are very, very math adept, that was pretty easy to follow. For the rest of us, listening to somebody explain something is not what they need to do to learn, and they need to sometimes try it themselves. In fact, even those who are good at grasping orally also have a better understanding of how things work after they try it. So in the old days, that's what a teacher would do. They would get up and do it in front of you, and then they would send you home with homework, several problems, and you would have to struggle with them at home by yourself without having the teacher there to answer your questions or to tell you if you're doing it right or wrong, or if you get confused, to help clear that up. In a flipped classroom, that lecture will happen before students get to class. There will be a video of the teacher talking it through or whatever. But then when the students show up in class, the teacher is there to actually help them do their homework, except it's not homework anymore, it's classwork. And then the person who can help you get it right is standing right there with you. Anytime you have an applied subject matter where the faculty member wants you to have a skill that when you are done learning it, you could actually go right into a job and execute it on behalf of your employer, that is a wonderful opportunity for a flipped classroom. So I have given you an assortment of materials. Some of it will be readings, some of it will be me in a video, some of it will be videos that I didn't make. And I expect that you will have gone through it before you get to class, so that when we get to class, we can have some question and answer if you need me to talk about your reading. And we can move right into my showing you how to do something and then letting you try your hand at it yourselves. So we have a wonderful tool that is going to help you get your readings and your materials reviewed before class. I've never used this before, but several of my colleagues in the school have, and they say that it works really well. And so I've adopted it to make your lives easier. It also involves more work around readings than normal, so I have eliminated an entire project that I normally offer students in order to not make this video learning more work intense than it would have been if it was a regular classroom. So I'm going to show you that. It's called Perusal, and I guess it means you're going to look through all of your readings. And the fun thing about this tool is it's collaborative, and you'll actually be reading together as a class. And I'll show you that in a minute. But first, I want to show you what you should be doing between now and our first classroom, which will be, since we're a flipped classroom, we want to get in the habit of doing our reading before we get there, which means between now, Thursday, and next Monday, you've got some reading to do. So your very first, let me flip for a minute to the syllabus. Oops. Now let's just go to the top of the syllabus. This is a long syllabus. It's going to have a table of contents. I apologize for that, but the school makes us put so many things into the syllabus. All right, this is the front of the syllabus, but what I want to show you now is there is a calendar for all the activities in class. Yeah, don't be put off by all that stuff. I'll go back and talk about what it's all about in a minute, or in a few minutes. All right, so here's what the syllabus looks like. You can see that this is week 1, which is today and tomorrow. And it asks you this week to go to module 0, finding your way around the classroom. And I'm going to take you back there in a minute and show you. But before class on Monday, and see this says read before class, which may mean you need to do this today and tomorrow or over the weekend, however you want. You actually have one reading, America's Nonprofit Sector, a primer. And it says this is available through Perusal in Canvas. And you have an interactive activity that I've given you. If you find all this fascinating, or you're just a person who loves to read, I've also given you another reading that's optional, and you will see all through the syllabus. If you like something, that you'll find that I sometimes give you other things, other resources that you can learn a little bit more if you're finding it interesting. Okay, so before class, you've got to do this Module 0, and Module 1 reading, and Module 1 interactive activity, a history of giving. Now, let's go back and find these modules so that you know where to find this stuff that you need. Okay, so here we are. You see on the left-hand side of Canvas are all these links. And there is a video for you to help you learn to find your way around Canvas. So I'm not going to give you that tour. It's actually in Module 0 here, but let's take a look at Module 0. And let's hope this pops up quickly. The internet service in the greater Phoenix area is having a problem right now. Okay, so this is the nonprofit organization's Module 0, Assignment 1 welcome page. There's a bunch of visuals that are trying very hard to pop up, and it may take them a few minutes. So there is just a course description. Meet your instructor. When you get there and it pops up for you, you'll see that there's a picture of me and some of my other family members. And that's because when you are working together through Zoom and any actual online course, it's hard to get to know each other. And so the more little bits we can share about each other, the more personal and the more human and the more real we'll be to each other. Okay, so office hours. Because of the pandemic, obviously office hours will be by Zoom. You will see on the, there I am coming up, you will see on the syllabus that my office hours, that I will be holding regular office hours every week. And however, if that doesn't work for you, please just let me know and we'll find something that does work. All right, so here's a little bit about me. You click this link and you can find out some of my career capers. I've had a really fun career. I've had a bunch of really amazing clients. I happen to be a lawyer. I was a lobbyist and a legislative attorney for a long time. And people ask me how I got such fun, amazing gigs, and I tell them I followed my passion. However, people as smart as Steve Jobs says that's not the way to go, and I gave you an article to his point of view. You can do your own thing. All right, so course tools tour. So this little short video, I'm not going to play it for you now, but it basically, if you plan to be on campus at all, you should watch it. It tells you where and when you need to mask up and the other requirements for safety around COVID-19. This video right here is your Canvas course video tour that ASU put together. Apparently not caring that much about the graphics on this one as they are on that one, but this is an intro to Canvas if you need it. Some of you have already been there. All right, there is a graphic right here that hasn't come up yet, but this is your section about Perusall. I'm not going to read it to you. I do want to say that Perusall is kind of works off an algorithm, and what it is doing, it is looking at how thoroughly you have read. And so it is going to be counting the number of comments you make, but also looking at whether you are a person who just read the first and the last page of the reading so that you could get the summary of it and then skip the rest of it. You will lose points for doing that. In other words, Perusall has an algorithm that forces you through the entire reading, but hopefully it will be fun because you're not reading by yourself. You're reading collaboratively, and it can be social, kind of like social media. So I'm going to skip. This is all information you can read on your own about how it works, but I'm going to skip to the bottom of it. It looks like I have to reload this page, or maybe not. I think I may have opened this up for us. Yeah, here it is, right? No? Okay, here we go. Let's just pull it up right here. When you click the link, I've already clicked that link, so it's a long story, but once you click the link, then you have to refresh the page for the link to come back up. And I am trying right now to pull up this. This is the, come on, you can do it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, sorry about the wait. All right, so you can see right here that this is the what you get in Perusal, and this is just a sample from some physics class that Perusal gives us. Um, to look at this little yellow thing above the visual image that's been highlighted, and it has a little line connecting it to Corey, and Corey says, I remember in high school being amazed at how quickly blah 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 blah. I'm not going to read it to you. So that's his comment on this information here about the graphic. Now you can see right here that there is a different conversation going on. Allison has highlighted this sentence here and said something about it. She, Beth, and Corey are all in a conversation about Allison's highlight. All right, so you can see that all of these go up to this conversation here. So anyway, the point is this is a shared conversation in the classroom. All right, so that is what that's going to look like. And so when you go into your modules, let's go back. Yeah, see, the graphics are finally coming up. Let's back it up. This welcome module has a lot of information, but most of the rest of the modules are actually just about the particular assignment. So let's go into module 1, reading 1, just so I can show you what you will see when you go into a reading module. Okay, that one came up quickly. So this says Salomon, America's Nonprofit Sector Primer Readings available through Perusal. And I think I just copied and pasted that out of the syllabus. It says and then it gives you another reading if you want to know more. Oh, this is a really bad example because I forgot to tell you what your annotation should be. So let's just trot on backwards and get to the second one. And now I have to remember to go edit that. I think this was the first Perusal assignment I've ever made, and so I screwed it up. But let's hope for the best. This is Module 1 Interactive Activity, which is also on your syllabus I showed you. Come on up, little interactive activity. Crossing my fingers. There we go. Okay. So here you say this is a history of giving. It's an interactive site. It says please choose one of the eras. And when you get there, you'll see that this website looks at the history of giving from the 1700s forward and divides it into eras. And you're supposed to just pick one and compare that era's philanthropic and voluntary activities to how you see it today. And that's what you would be commenting or annotating. And then we would just open it up. Let's hope that it opens fast. I'm doing this not because you can't do it, but because sometimes it's easier to have someone show you how to do things before you do them. And so you won't be surprised when you get there or nervous. If you see that little round circle going around and around, it's not to mesmerize you. It's to tell you that it's working, and that's a good sign actually. Faster would be better. Last night I was watching the Democratic Convention speeches, and I was excited to watch Kamala Harris' speech, and the people I was watching with lost electricity. We were watching on Zoom, and the person who was sharing her screen lost electricity right in the middle of the Zoom, and I did not get to see the end of the speech, and I'm pretty sure that that is going to happen a few times for our class as well. Okay, so this took us to what is really it's a web page, and as you go down, it should work like a web page. I think I'm not gonna try to take us down, because I think what's gonna happen is that we're gonna find that internet is slow this morning at this hour. And so I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to waste any more of your time. But when you go there and you start scrolling through, you will discover what I said, that this web page divides itself into eras, and I'm just suggesting you pick any era and that you begin a conversation over here about how that is the same or different from what you are used to. Okay, so now you know that you need to be in the modules doing the activities that are called for on the syllabus. I want to show you one other place before I leave the Canvas site and finish my little conversation to you. And this is, if you can see on the left that the word discussions is highlighted. If you go to the discussions page, you will find something called hallway conversations. This is the place to leave questions of a general nature, questions that you don't mind if all of your classmates hear. If we were all together in a classroom and you asked a question and I answered your question, everybody else in the classroom would hear the answer, and so we would be educating everybody who needed the answer to that question, not just you. By putting your general questions about an assignment or a due date or anything confusing, can't find a reading, whatever, putting them in the hallway questions here, if somebody else knows the answer and can answer you before I get back, you'll get your answer faster. But B, everybody will be able to have the same information, just as though we were in the classroom together. And when you get here, this is the, you can see publish or edit. That's what it looks like to me, not to you. But there will be a subscribe button here. And if you use the subscribe button, then every time more information is shared in this venue, you will have it come to your email. And by the way, you need to set your Canvas settings so that things do come to you in email. And I'm not going to go over that again. It's in the video that I showed you for Canvas, or you can use this little help button over here on the left. I don't know if you can see all the way to the left, but I'm circling this little help button and ask an IT person. There's a 24/7 chat, a phone number, and an email for questions, and you can send that to them if you're not sure how to forward your mail. Don't ask me in the hallway conversations. I'll just tell you right now, I don't have a clue how to do that. But yeah, ask me class questions, ask technology questions to the tech people because they will know way before I do. All right, so this is in the discussions. If you have a question of a personal nature, just email me. I try to answer my emails within 24 hours, often less. In a rare circumstance, like maybe across a weekend, it might be 36 hours, but mostly I try to get back to people as fast as I can. I know that our lives are all busy. Okay, so let's just go back one more minute to the syllabus. I have not quite finished the syllabus. And so when you open the announcement where this video lives, you will also see that I have copy and pasted for you just these top few pieces of the syllabus, so you will have this information. I promise I will get you the rest of the syllabus before class on Monday, and hopefully maybe even before the weekend. But the problem is this class, as I said, was built for an in-class environment, and I had to completely revise how I teach it. And it's been a huge job. It takes about 80 hours to create a class. It's maybe not quite that long to completely revise this class, but it's a number of hours. And I've got all of this stuff on the calendar. I know all of our assignments and stuff, but what I don't have is I haven't finished making all the changes that need to be made throughout the rest of the syllabus. I've done a lot of them. One thing I wanted to show you is that this syllabus is like 100,000 pages long. All right, so it's 36 pages long. And the reason for that is because there's so much stuff that the school asks us to put in it. All the stuff that I'm scrolling through are school policies and college policies and ASU policies. And that starts here on page 29. I actually think it's pretty cool that they make us put this in the syllabus. It makes the syllabus really long for you, but if you wanted to learn, for example, about drop add dates and withdrawals, you might spend a lot of time fishing around on the ASU website for it, and that makes it easier. I am going to create a table of contents for you. I know that seems silly, but honestly, 36 pages long, you should be able to get where you're going without having to just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling looking for things. So you can see here course and faculty information, course description, the grading, how you'll be graded. This will be of great interest to everybody. We'll start on page 5, for example. The other thing that I need to do before I get done, aside from just proofing to make sure there isn't something else in here that's wrong, is after the calendar, everybody likes this, so I do it. I put in due dates at a glance. So that basically, if you don't want to fish through the calendar to find that when that piece of a project is due, it will all be right here at due dates at a glance. These are all from last fall, so you don't want to rely on those, but I will get those. Changed so that you will have that, and I will also put those due dates at a glance up in Canvas for you. So anyway, those are the things I need to finish before I give this to you. But again, if you have any questions or something you need to know that you don't have access to between now and Monday, please let me know. And I will be sending another piece of information just to clarify about who's in a classroom and who is on Zoom and what day we are in a classroom and what day we are not in a classroom, as everybody will be on Zoom 1 day a week so that we can do our group projects together. Again, required because we can't sit together in the classroom. Even for those who are there, we can't sit close enough to do group projects. So 1 day a week, everybody will be on Zoom. Okay, I think that's it. If you have questions, please let me know. And I am looking forward to meeting you all officially in our Zoom classroom on Monday. Bye.